Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the DubCast podcast. Today we welcome back on Kenny the Moonshot, the man, the myth, the legend. He came on for the Masters just a couple weeks ago and was so insightful that we thought we'd bring him back. Welcome, Kenny.
What's going on, man? Yeah, we did all right with our one bomb pick for the Masters. He didn't win, but if you took him for top 40, top 30, top 20, he backdoored a top 20 Masters Sunday. Taylor Moore. It was almost a lot of fun too. I remember talking to you that Friday. I think he started like birdie eagle on Friday to get to 4 under, and we were like, oh shit, this might get weird. You tapered off a little bit, but he had a good enough weekend to cash, pretty much all your finishing positions. So I'm hoping to run it back again this week.
Yeah, for anybody that didn't catch that, Kenny put out Taylor Moore. I believe it was 175-1 as the bomb long shot. After day one, he was 2 under. I think he was 5 shots back. And then early Friday, he was literally 1 shot off the lead. And yep. I was freaking out, texting Kenny and everybody else within the Dub Club community that tailed him, thinking that this thing had legs. But I'm excited for some more of that type of action headed into the PGA.
Well, look, if you're looking for long shots, I'll say I'd be surprised to see a long shot win this thing because of just how heavy the top of the board is, and we'll talk about that in a sec. But because of how heavy the top of the board is, it's essentially bloated the rest of the market. So if you in your heart of heart think that not one of the top guys is going to win this, you're going to get a good price on pretty much everybody else because the books pretty much assume Scotty, Rory, or Brooks is going to win this thing.
Yeah, let's dive right in. I want to start by just talking about Valhalla and what it takes to win there. Obviously, well-known track based in Louisville, Kentucky, has hosted Ryder Cups, hosted PGAs. Let's dive into the course in itself and what profile succeeds there.
Yeah, so this is it's a beast of a course, man. So Valhalla Golf Club in Louisville, it is a par 71, 7,600 yards. It's long. It sounds long, and it is long. And this week, it's going to play even a little longer. They're getting some rain, I think, today and tomorrow. It's going to be clear by the time they start playing. It's not going to affect the tournament itself too much. But when you get that kind of rain, it just softens the whole course up, especially the fairways. And really what that means is, your tee shot hits the fairway and you don't really get that extended run out. So for a course that's already playing long to add in this rain, I think number one, it's really going to favor guys that can just bomb it and bomb it straight. I don't think that's like the pure recipe for success here, but I think if you're a bunter off the tee, you're going to have a lot of trouble. Again, the last time they had the PGA here was 2014. Rory won it back then. And I think coming into this week, I think there was this belief that the course was just going to be overall very, very difficult. Guys were thinking the winning score would be somewhere like maybe -10, probably a little higher than that. And I'm hearing differently. Again, I said it's going to play long. It's a bit of a beast of a course, but I've been lucky enough to talk to a few caddies that are actually down there on a couple of bags, and they said it's quote unquote it's a true test of golf. There are some tough holes. But if you put yourself in position, there's a ton of birdie holes as well. And the more I talk to guys, that's kind of the consensus here that like it could eat you alive if you're spraying it and you're in like the deeper cuts of rough. But if you're playing from the fairway and you're playing all around good golf, there's opportunities to go low here. So I think the winning score is going to come in around maybe as high as 15 under, maybe even a little lower than that. Michael Block, who was like the star of the PGA Championship last year, actually has the course record here. I believe it's a 63. I think that could be at risk this week. I think somebody could put up like an absolute nut number, especially Thursday or Friday. I'm hearing the rough has been cut down pretty low. I don't think they're going to touch it throughout the weekend. So I expect guys to really make their mark Thursday, Friday, and then probably just hang on over the weekend. I think the weekend it'll get a little tougher.
Amazing insight. And that was one of the storylines that I want to hit on. Obviously, we have a jam-packed week of storylines. We got Dad Mode Scotty winning 4 of his last 5. We got Michael Block, who you touched on, the PGA teaching pro sensation from last year who literally captivated the whole golfing world.
Yep.
We got Rory winning last week, filing for divorce this week, or at least the news breaking, and returning to a place that he's won previously. Amongst those storylines, not to mention Spieth going for the career Grand Slam, Which one do you find most interesting, and which one are you most interested in diving into a little bit?
I mean, dude, it's gotta be the Rory one, right? So you got Rory, who is, again, the last time the PGA was here, he won. He's coming off a win. He's coming off 2 wins if you count the Zurich Classic, and then filing for divorce the Monday of a major is certainly some bold timing here. The second he filed for divorce, I would have made him the favorite to win this tournament. Like right now, Scotty's 4-1 and Rory is plus 750. Rory post divorce swag might be enough, I think, to be the overall favorite in this. So I don't know if people remember. Back in 2014, he was engaged to tennis star Caroline Wozniacki. They had this, I think he proposed on New Year's Eve on a yacht, bought her like a $200,000 ring. They send their wedding invitations out, and then 3 days later, he calls it off via phone call. And it was just a crazy story. It made him look like such an asshole. And then people forgot about that very quickly because a month and a half later, he won the British Open. Then the next week, he won the Bridgestone. And then the following week, he won the PGA Championship here. So at least the data that I have is when Rory dumps his girlfriend, he usually just goes nuclear. And factor in that, hey, he's coming off 2 wins. He's playing really good golf on a course where you got to be able to bomb it. Rory is very, very much in play here. And to be honest, it's making me, I think, a little more hesitant to want to spray the board a little bit. Like, I have a couple of guys that I bet outright. I personally went a little lighter on my outrights this week because I am definitely afraid of the top of the board here. Like, if you put a gun to my head, I think Rory or Scotty probably wins this.
Yeah, I mean, at plus 750, that's solid value. I remember rewind back to the Masters, and we're looking at Scotty 3-1. Like, that's just something you can't really touch. But yeah, at 7.5 to 1, I'm comfortable grabbing a little bit of that, or even more than a little.
I have trouble getting anybody under 10. Like I may decide to pull the trigger last minute here. I think what I might do, I might just put a few bucks on like Rory to win wire to wire at like 50 to 1 on DraftKings. Like it's like if you want to bet Rory, just bet the full send Rory and he goes out there and like wins by 5. But I think the Rory narrative is fun. You've got you've got Brooks coming in, defending the PGA, coming off a win on Live. There's just There's a lot going on here, man. And Brooks, too. I don't know if you saw, like, 5 minutes after the TMZ story broke about the Rory divorce, Brooks put up an Instagram of his wife, and it was just like, yeah, love her so much, like, love you, babe, like, you're my rock, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, what an asshole. I love it. I love it so much.
He is so petty, but in the funniest way.
I know.
He really does have a great sense of humor.
He really, really does, man. So, like I said, I'm excited for the week. I think if you hit the ball long off the tee, relatively straight, I do think anybody can contend here. It is weird. Like I said, coming into it, it felt like the course was going to play impossible. And just the more I hear is that it's just a lot of guys are going to be playing from essentially the same shot on the fairway. Hit your driver and then hit your short irons and mid irons into these softer greens, at least the first couple of days. So if your irons are dialed, you're going to be able to stick these greens at least Thursday, Friday, and put up some scores.
Amazing. Sounds like long and accurate off the tee, and the rest will kind of take care of itself with these guys being as good as they are with mid to short irons and around the greens.
Exactly.
You hit on Rory. Anybody else that's kind of jumping out at you? Middle to long shot, and then I would love to get one, mega long shot, despite you already making it clear that this is going to be a tough place for anybody 20 to 1 or higher to book a win.
Yeah, so really the way that I'm looking at it is because of my fear of the top of the board and really my belief that it's probably going to be one of the top guys. If I'm looking down the board, I'm looking for guys that I think just have the ability to completely spike. Like, if it's their week, they have it, they can contend. And there's a guy on here that coming into this week was not even close to being on my radar by any stretch. And then the more I look at it, the more I look at his price, it just feels like the number's too good to be true and you got to do it. And I'll tell you now, this is the one pick that I think the rest of the golf betting community would laugh at. I think people would tell me I'm insane to go this route. I think at 90 to 1, Dustin Johnson's in play. I really do. So look, Brooks is getting all of this late credit and this steam on his number because of his last win on Live. So we're rewarding solid play on Live for someone like Brooks. I don't understand why that argument can't be used for DJ. DJ took 7th last week. He had, I think, the second best round of the day on Sunday. He won in Vegas back in February. Like, I think people look at Dustin Johnson and, like, you keep hearing, like, he took the money, he checked out, he's not into it anymore. And I get that sentiment to an extent, especially if you watched Full Swing. I mean, he's been pretty open about, like, what this has done for his personal life. But it's not like the guy has, like, completely and utterly mailed it in. He's won on Live multiple times. He's having a solid year. He was, I think, first-round leader at the U.S. Open last year. He finished 10th. I mean, like, again, this is a guy that still, when he has it, is one of the best golfers in the world. And we haven't had the ability, to see it as often as we've used to. So, again, wasn't really going to be on my radar, but his odds have drifted all the way down to 90-1. And at a course like this that demands bombing ability, and he certainly has that, the guy has won majors, and he spaced his majors out every 4 years. He won in 2016. He won in 2020. I think maybe it's time for him to, from the clouds here, come back to get in the winner's circle in 2024. So I did. I played Dustin Johnson at 90-1.
And I don't hate that at all. I mean, he's played in 14 PGA championships. He has championship pedigree. And I feel like that laid-back demeanor actually helps him in spots like this when everybody's shitting bricks. And he's like, I'm here. I've been here before. I've won here before. Let's just do this thing.
Like, the big argument is that, he doesn't care anymore. And it's, all right, like, maybe he's not grinding practice out as much as he used to. But he's not showing up to Valhalla in total not give a fuck mode. Like, the guy still wants to win tournaments. When you're there, you want to win. And you'll know early on if this has any shot whatsoever. I think for him to win this thing, he has to go out there and either be first-round leader or be a shot or two off the lead. Like, I don't expect him to, like, make a run on the weekend. I think he has to have it early and then keep himself in the mix, stay dialed in. But at 90-1, man, I'm just going to click it. I think most people would view it as a donation, but the talent speaks for itself. And a course like this in a week that I think just could be a little weird, I think DJ coming out and being in contention would just add another element to already 15 ridiculous storylines for this weekend.
You're making me fired up for this thing. I didn't really realize all the storylines that were going into this, but I got one for you here. You talking about great drivers of the golf ball and people with that kind of championship pedigree. Somebody that comes to mind who hasn't won a major yet, but is a great driver of the golf ball and has played some awesome golf in majors, and that is Ludwig Aberg. Is that somebody that you see at 22-1 that could be interesting, or even plus 450 for a top 5 finish?
It's funny when you were going through that spiel, I thought you were about to say Homa. I'm like, oh, actually, I did bet a little bit.
We'll get to him next.
Ludwig at 22, I think, is interesting. His number got as low as like 14 or 15 after the Masters, and then it's come down a little bit. I think Rory winning, Brooks winning, and him withdrawing with the knee injury, I think is pumped his number back a little. I need to hear a little more about his knee. Now, I have a friend that has a friend in his camp, if you will, that'll be able to get me a little more intel later today. As far as I'm hearing, the knee isn't a major concern. It was more of a precautionary thing. So if that's true, then yeah, I mean, he fits the bill. I mean, look, he's going to fit the bill on most courses on the PGA Tour. I mean, he's just an alien with the driver in his hand. So he certainly should be in play here. At 22, it's tough, for a guy like, he's only been on the tour for like a year and a half, so obviously he hasn't won a major yet. He was very much in contention at the Masters. I just think, I look at him like a guy that I think over the course of his career, I'm probably not going to bet on all that much, because even without winning a major thus far, I mean, this is the price is coming in at pretty much every tournament, and I feel like I need to see him do it before I can justify betting him sub 25-1 in a field that is this stacked. So I'm going to play him in a lot of pools. I'm going to play him in daily fantasy. I just don't think I can get to him at 22.
Great insight. Let's transition to Homa, because as I was giving that spiel, it sounds like your ears perked up a little bit regarding a Max. So Give me your take on Max this week.
I do like Max this week. The only concern with him is he can spray it with the driver just a little bit, but he's been dialing it in a little bit the last couple of weeks. We saw him in contention at the Masters. He's coming off a really strong Sunday at the Wells Fargo, and look, he's just a guy that he's going to win a major eventually. The biggest knock on him, when he really started to, develop his career and, stack up wins over the last couple of years was his overall lack of performance in majors. And I think he's put that to bed in his last couple performances, especially how he played at the Masters this year. And I think he also just feels like a guy, like, if he's going to win a major, it's hard to explain, but, I feel like just the PGA Championship makes sense for it to be Max Homa's first major. It feels like the tournament that if he's going to win one, this is the one that he'll win. So what I did with him, he's 35-1 right now. I got him at 20-1 in a market. It's called Winner Without Rory, Scotty, Brooks, Xander. So if one of those four guys wins and Homa takes second, you win. I thought 20-1 was a good enough price for that. I figured I would just pay the tax there and fade the top guys. So I did play that on FanDuel.
Where can somebody? You mentioned FanDuel. Is that a widely available bet type? Because it's interesting and one that I've never heard of. Been betting for 6-7 years.
Most of the main books should have it. I think DraftKings has some variation of it. I know MGM has Winner Without Scotty. I don't know if they have it. Winner Without the other guys. I kind of go back and forth on how often I play this market. I usually do it if there's a couple of heavy favorites in a particular tournament and I'm betting a super long shot. I'll split my bet. I'll bet half my stake on them to win outright, and I'll put the other half on them to win without the top guys. It really just depends on how much of a price slash you're getting in that second market. There's not a whole lot of consistency of how they do it. But I thought if Homa's 35-1 to win and 20-1 in the other market, I figured, give me the 20-1 and, give me a little more life.
Absolutely. I love that. Well, hey, you're a busy man. You got shows lined up all day today. Including one special MLB long shot that folks will have to jump in the server and subscribe to you to get. But
do you want a bomb? You want one bomb for this?
Yes, I do.
So I say this. I want to be very, very clear here. This guy's not going to win. He is not going to win this week. Same like the Taylor Moore wasn't going to win. But if you want a guy that is just way down the board, you want to put $5 on and just be able to tell your friends you had the ticket just in case lightning strikes and he gets it done. A guy that drives the ball very, very far. He is deathly accurate off the tee. And again, another guy that he hasn't won a major yet in his career. And I do think over the next couple of years, I wouldn't be surprised to see him sneak one in. And he's played some really good golf this year, especially in big boy tournaments. He took 15th at the Players. He took 12th at the Masters. And just from somebody in his camp, I can't say who, the dude absolutely fucking loves this golf course and is very excited for this week. Adam Schenk at 350-1. If you need a top 40 or a top 20, if you need a play down the board for daily fantasy lineups, I think Adam Schenk is absolutely in play this week.
I'm finding him right now. I got the odds board pulled up. Let's see. Yeah, here we are. Going to place it as we speak.
That's my
How
dog.
about you with your inside intel? That's why you're the best in the space. Holy smokes. I love that.
He's got some very nice people in his camp, man. I've been fortunate enough to have, a good relationship there. But, it was one of his people that said, hey, the course is going to play easier than people make it out to be. And I just think if that guy's saying it's going to be easier, I'm sure that means he's watched Schenk rip it up the last couple of days. So he fits the mold of what's required at the minimum to even be in contention here. And look, it's a guy that is just he's been in some big positions. He played well at the Masters. He played well at the Players. And just when he has it going, man, especially with his putter, he gets hot. So at 350-1 in a tournament where I think a super long shot's very unlikely, that's a name that I can certainly get behind.
I love that. We got him at 16-1 for top 10, 45-1 for top 5, and then 350-1 to win this thing. I think taking a similar approach as to what you coached us on with the Taylor Moore bet, go $5, 2 separate $5 bets, let's say, if you're a $10 per unit bettor, so to have that cash out option. Like I remember,
hey, if he goes nuts on Thursday, you can free roll the other one. And I think his top 20 was like 6-1. So if you want to play like, I think top 40, even including ties, is like plus 180. So I don't know, throw 10 on that, throw 5 on the top 20, and then split another 5 on him to win it. And hey, man, if he ships it, you're gonna look like a legend.
I think we're going to Vegas if that happens.
I made that promise if Taylor Moore won, so I offer you the same promise if Schenk does it.
All right, brother. You're the best. Thank you very much for taking the time today. I know you got the Mooney Gang meet up this evening as well, so enjoy the Phils game, and looking forward to having you on for the next major.
Dave, much appreciated, Dash. Be good, man.